So, welcome to Chapter 9. This is VKA Games playing The Evil Within on Nightmare difficulty setting, and I'm gonna guide you through this walkthrough with commentary and show you some tips and strategies how to beat this game on Nightmare mode. And it's gonna take a couple of minutes before we really get to play this chapter. The game is gonna drop us back to the safe house, and there's gonna be some cutscenes, so let's continue after that.
Detective Castellanos?
Was that someone else's memories?
You were moaning in your sleep. Have a bad dream?
No, not that way. No. No, not that way. No.
Please refrain from agitating the others. You don't look well at all. Memories are vague things indeed. It can be easy at times for memories to be distorted by others. That is why they must be cherished.
No, not that way. No.
Alright, so let's start this chapter, and before you go on, turn around and go back here. There's always some green gel in these boxes. So let's pick that up. And so this chapter takes place in this mansion, actually the first part of this chapter, and I guess it's some kind of homage to the first Resident Evil game, which I haven't played actually, but I'm gonna play it now when the remake is out at some point. But of course I know the game, and I know it takes place in a mansion. Anyway, I actually played quite a few times this mansion area, and not because it's very hard or anything, but the thing is that there's a couple of things that makes it a bit tricky. And by the way, there's a crow right there, so if you want to take a chance and shoot it, it might drop some loot, but not always. Like now, it didn't drop anything.
I've seen that house somewhere. I've never
Yeah,
been
so a
here
couple of
before.
things. First of all, Ruvik will respawn in the mansion from time to time, and as you already might know, you can't fight Ruvik in this game because he's some kind of ghost, and if you let Ruvik to touch you, you'll be dead instantly, no matter what difficulty you are playing. So that's one thing that makes this mansion area a bit tricky, and the other one is that there's some random things happening in the mansion, so you can't always be sure if there's an enemy behind the door or not. I played this many times, and sometimes there are more enemies in the area, and sometimes some enemies that are at specific places aren't there in the next run. So it's kind of, you can't really know exactly what's gonna happen. And I think it also depends in which order you play each section of the mansion. And by the way, there's a big green shell bottle right over there, you see, next to that gate, but somehow I missed it here. Sorry about that, but if you play this, remember to pick that green shell bottle from there. And it's a big one, so I think you should get 1000 green shell from it. So I'm gonna show you my way to play this mansion area, but there really isn't like one specific strategy you can only use in this area, because as I said, the events are kind of random sometimes, and also Ruvik respawning makes this area a bit hard. Otherwise it's not that hard, but Ruvik also kind of reacts in a random way sometimes, and sometimes it's really hard to know what he will do. So let's go inside the mansion. Just checking this one box over here, nothing there. So when you go inside the mansion, you might want to save your game right away before you continue.
Stop, damn it.
So I'm just gonna quickly run to the safe house, save the game, and then come back right away. And again, I'm not gonna do any upgrades, because I don't need any upgrades right now. This mansion area, it's not very hard. There's just some regular enemies in here. And I'm gonna save my upgrades
I knew it.
for later.
Don't you think you should use your green gel?
So we have to get that big green door open in the main hall. On the left there. And there are 3 brains in the area, and you have to find those brains. And there are 3 locks in the door, and you have to insert this pin into each brain. And you have to insert the pin into the right area of the brain, otherwise you will get some damage. And when you insert the pin, the blood is gonna start streaming from the brain, and it's gonna open the lock in the door. And there's a map next to each brain, and recording tape also explaining where to insert the pin. It's fairly easy to check that, and I will show you that. Pick up this key from here, and 1 green shell bottle,
What do we
and pick up
have
this
here?
bolt. And here's the first brain. And when you look at left, there is the map. And just listen to the tape. So M33 ineffective, so it's not that. So it's F7, and you see that green area, that's F7. And just check that area from the brain, and it's somewhere around there.
What did I just set in motion?
Alright, so Ruvik will respawn always after each brain at some point, so be ready for him. And when he spawns, you have 2 options, either hide somewhere or just run away from him. And there's always this enemy coming through this door, so just kill it with this axe. And if you play this like I do now, Ruvik will always spawn right about here. And I'm just gonna go here and check. He will either spawn from that hallway in front of me right there, or from the main room. I didn't see him in the hallway, so I'm just gonna hide here under the table and I'm gonna be fine. So you have to make sure that Ruvik doesn't see where you're hiding, because if he sees where you're hiding, he's gonna kill you. So if he spawns into the main room when you're here, you can easily hide under the table. But if you see Ruvik in the hallway there, when you're standing here next to this table, do not go under the table because he's gonna come and kill you. So if you can't hide under the table, just run around these stairs in this main hall and you'll be fine. And here's the lower safe dial, and this painting gives you the code to these dials. So as you saw, there were 2 persons in that painting, so the code to this dial is 2. And pick up this key from there. And this upper safe dial is in the library over here. So as I said before, some random things happens in this mansion, and this library area is one of them. So you have to pick up this upper safe dial from upstairs, and usually there is 1 enemy in there, but sometimes there might be 2 enemies, or sometimes there are no enemies at all. So make sure you check how many enemies there are. So one of them is always in there and the other one is on the other side, but now he's not there, so there's only 1 enemy over here. Yeah, I tried that bottle trick, but it didn't work. And here's the upper dial. And as you see from the painting, there are 11 people in this painting, so that's the code to the upper dial. And as you hear, 1 enemy is coming, and this is also 1 random happening. Sometimes there is this 1 enemy coming from somewhere, I don't know where, but this doesn't always happen. Even if I played this area exactly the same as I did now, sometimes this 1 enemy just didn't show up and sometimes he did. So it's really random how things happen in here. So there are 2 enemies eating this body over there. I'm just gonna run here, pick up this axe from the table and quickly kill both of them with this axe. So that's the easiest way to kill those 2 guys, and you don't need to spend any ammo for them. But you have to act really quickly. Just run right next to the table, quickly pick up the axe, and when you turn around right away, just use the axe. Otherwise the enemies are gonna get to you. And when you loot these rooms, there's always at least 2 enemies coming through that door. There they are. So I'm just gonna use a flashbolt and sneak kill both of them. And disarm this trap. And remember to pick up this green gel from this toilet.
Shit.
And here you have to shoot that red light over there. And you don't lose any handgun ammo when you shoot that, so you don't need to worry about the ammo. And here's another key. And I never found anything from these 2 lockers here, but I always check them. And there's a syringe in here, but I don't need it. And here's another brain.
Again?
Pick up this green gel and 1 explosive bolt. And let's check out the map again and listen to the tape. So placement A2, and you can see this red area is A2, so it's right around there. And now Ruvik is gonna respawn again. And usually he will respawn when you step out of this room.
If you only knew how satisfying that look on your face is.
So many times when I played this, when I came here, Ruvik respawned right away. But now when I recorded this, he didn't. So I'm just kind of waiting here for Ruvik to spawn. And then I thought that I'm not gonna wait for him, I'm just gonna continue. And let's see what happens. Because you see this hallway, it's pretty narrow in here. And you can't touch Ruvik, so that's why I wanted him to respawn in that wider area. And here I'm crouching because usually there's enemy around this corner right over here. But now he wasn't there. So there's Ruvik. You can dodge him in this hallway. You can run past him if you be careful and keep some distance. And just keep running straight ahead. But it's a bit tricky because sometimes he might appear around the corner right in front of your face. And if he does that, probably you'll be end up dead because he's gonna touch you, and many times you don't have enough time to turn around and start running again. But the best thing is to just keep running straight ahead. Yeah, so like I said, this one enemy is usually in this hallway here, but now for some reason this enemy is inside this room. Yeah, that was close. Usually there's only this one enemy lying on the floor and this other enemy is in the hallway there. But now there were 3 enemies inside this room. So that's really random how things happen in this mansion. I guess it's meant to be that way, and I think it's kind of cool actually. And always one enemy coming through that door, so be ready for him.
Three of these are pivotal.
And pick up this axe.
But which will open the way?
And we have only one brain left. And by the way, if you reload a checkpoint, I think it will reset the time when Ruvik will spawn. So if you want to play it easy and safe, just reload your checkpoint. There's always a checkpoint after each brain, and I tried that. I reloaded the checkpoint after the second brain, and I waited and waited in the hallway, and Ruvik didn't spawn there. But when I played this on one run, Ruvik will always spawn after the second brain in that same hallway. But I wanted to play this in one run to show you how to deal with this area without reloading any checkpoints. So I recommend not to spend any more time in this mansion that you really have to, because actually after this third brain, that's right over here, you don't need to face Ruvik again if you be quick enough. So you only have to face Ruvik 2 times. So when you have dealt with this last brain and you can see the green door opening, I recommend you go straight to the safe house, save your game, and this way you don't need to face Ruvik again. But if you stay here hanging around or picking up some loot, Ruvik is gonna spawn for the 3rd time.
Assumption number 14. Test
Alright, so here's the last brain. and it's C4, and you can see that blue area, and it's gonna go between these two pins right there.
The hospital has not received the family's usual donation.
And now, after this third brain, there's always two enemies spawning. Other one is a fat guy, and other one is an enemy with a gun. So be ready with a flashbolt. I think that's the easiest way to deal with them. And right when you see them, fire the flashbolt, because, as I said, the other enemy has a gun, and he's gonna do some damage very quickly. There they are. Fire the flashbolt and just sneak kill both of them. And that's it. And now the door is opening. So let's go save the game.
Have you forgot?
And I'm just gonna do a couple of upgrades quickly. I'm gonna upgrade my shotgun stock and the sniper rifle stock also. I left some shotgun shells in the library. I'm gonna pick that up. And there's also some sniper rifle ammo a bit later in this chapter. So before I continue, I'm just gonna pick up those shotgun shells quickly.
Slice clean, all the way. No cure for what I'm going to do to you. Peel pristine skin. Thoughts from the mind.
Ruvik?
And here, when you get back to the gameplay, right away, run to the right over there, because that thing is gonna hurt you. Alright, and in here, we just have to crouch our way through these wires or whatever they are. But you have plenty of time here to disarm all these traps and pick up this green shell. But you can't stay still for a long time, because there's this trap coming behind you. So if you're not fast enough, you're gonna die. But you don't have to hurry here. You have plenty of time to do this. Alright, and here is this trap room, and there is this bloody monster chasing you, and if you get near him, you're gonna get some damage. So you have to be really quick here. So right away, run over here, and there's a trap. And check your handgun ready. Always shoot these locks. Quickly run here, pick up this green shell, and disarm this one trap. You can easily get away from all this without taking any damage if you're just quick enough. And here you have time to disarm these traps, so let's do that. Pick up all the trap parts and disarm this one trap over here. And you have to dodge that thing. Just run past him and disarm this one trap. And quickly run here. And that's it. And remember to pick up this green shell.
Why was I led here?
So this is the last area in this chapter. And there's some loot around this house. Pick up this green shell, and there was some handgun ammo. Pick up the shock bolt, and shock bolts are gonna be useful in that burning house. And there's some sniper rifle ammo in here also. And some more handgun ammo, but I'm full.
I know you're in here. I can hear you breathing.
Rich bastards. Think they can buy up all our land.
They need to be shown who really owns these parts.
Hey, I think there's kids in there. I didn't hear anything. What the?
Somebody, open the door! Reuben! Reuben, you have to climb!
Shit. I better get out of here.
I guess there's Laura and Ruvik burning there. So we have to get out of here. Just turn these wheels. And just shoot that one wheel with your handgun. So you can get up here. And remember to burn this one haystack here, because there's a statue behind that with a key. And when you try to go through that window, you have to face this bloody monster again. And some enemies are gonna spawn from the floor. And I think the easiest way to deal with this area is to use shock bolts. This is actually a very easy fight if you just use shock bolts. So when you get back to the gameplay, right away shoot a shock bolt over there, and all the enemies that will spawn from there will right away be stuck with that shock bolt, and just use the match to burn them. And fire another shock bolt. And there's some loot around this house, and I actually wasn't quick enough here. I managed to pick up these shotgun shells, but only thing that pisses me off is that there were a few sniper rifle ammo in this house. So anyway, if you're low on ammo, you might want to shoot only one shock bolt and then just quickly run around the house, pick up the ammo and just use your shotgun to kill the enemies. But it's a bit more dangerous way to do that. I just wanted to show you a quick and easy way to deal with that area. And with 2 shock bolts you can easily get away from it without doing anything actually.
Beatrice, please. You must eat. You've got to keep your strength up.
My children. I want...
And that's the end of this chapter, and let's continue in the next video.